Right, okay guys, welcome to another Why I Love. This is a series where I take a look at certain games that I'm still very fond of, and I'll talk about the reasons why. They're not always good games, but they're games that I'm fond of, mainly due to sort of like happy memories. Now this one here, just the music itself really conjures up lots of happy memories. As what would I be, about 16 years old I think it was. I think this was written in, was it 1983, possibly 1984. Yeah, this is Revenge of the Mutant Camels, released by Jeff Minter of Llamasoft. This was a sequel to the original Attack of the Mutant Camels. It has got to go down, however, as one of the most difficult games ever. I would love to see a good player get past about 3 or 4 levels in the game. I played it to death, but it is just so insanely hard. Now what I've actually done here is, I wouldn't normally do it for a video, I've actually got it on infinite energy and invulnerability, so I can't actually die, because if I didn't do that you would see possibly 2 levels, maybe 3, and that would be it. I think there was 42 levels all in, and having played through it, it's an interesting game. It's very much of its time. Some of the levels, the graphics, they were current back in 1983. So this is level 3, Manic Minter, obviously a nod to Manic Miner. Now the idea of the game is to basically, you'll see at the top it says next zone 6 kilometres. I think it starts off at 7 kilometres, and you've basically got to walk for 7 kilometres, then you move on to the next level. Now what I've done here is I've just edited it. I think I've edited it from like 7 to 4, and then moves on to the next one. Wacky Whackers. Looking at the game now, it is very simple. I mean, it's just a series of random, or seemingly random baddies, you know, moving about in a very random way. I mean, it's very much Jeff Minter. There we go, Attack the Mutant Camels, almost a nod to the original game. You've got these little purple ones in the bottom, they look like they're on, they're on kind of tank treads, I think it is. Yeah, the way this control works is, if you hold down the fire button and move the joystick, it will fire in one of 8 directions, so it will fire up, down, left and right, plus 4 diagonals. But the problem is, the camel keeps moving in that direction. Now here you go, nuclear free zone. This was, you know, back in 1983, a nuclear war was very much a real thing. Unfortunately it is now as well, but yeah, CND, the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament, was quite a popular thing. I was actually a member of it for a few months. That is the CND signs falling down the screen. The next one, haven't we met somewhere before? This little spaceship, that's actually the spaceship that you control in the original Attack of the Mutant Camels. And funnily enough, when Jeff talks about the original Attack of the Mutant Camels, he describes the camels as looking like a big pantomime horse. He admits he could not draw for toffee, so the camels looked awful, but I've got to say he's done quite a good job with this little guy down here. It looks pretty good. What was that aggressive Australian something or another? It's basically jumping. Are they they're not kangaroos, I don't know what they are. They look like little antelopes or something on skis. Even the little background graphics as well, little winking eyes, little palm trees. Rockin' roll-ups. Obviously a nod to him being a hippie and probably smoking some odd substances. I don't quite know what the little brown is. That hash? Possibly? I was a bit naive back in 1987, not 1987, 1983, 1984. And that's also a roll up, and I'm assuming that is hash that's bouncing about. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Again, it's got great sound, really good. Telecoms come up and yeah, there's probably some people watching this video wondering what the hell are these little red things. Well, these were called telephone boxes. Now, back in the day before mobile phones were a thing. I mean, mobile phones only really came popular sort of the end of the 90s. I think it was 1997. No, in fact it wasn't. It was 1999 when I first got a mobile phone. Before that existed, you had to, your mum and dad would probably have a phone in the house. When you're out and about, there was a thing called a phone box, and it basically had a phone in it, and you had to put money in to phone somebody. I know phone boxes do still exist, but they're certainly not in commonplace. I'm sure there might be a few people watching this video who have never actually seen them before. The British Telecom, they basically had a monopoly on the whole thing. It was before, you know, other companies got involved. Here's a nod to Pac-Man. Yeah, playing it now, it's pretty repetitive, but the thing that really drove you on was to see what the next level was going to contain, what graphics was it going to contain. But like I said, I'd love to see somebody actually get quite far in it. Now, Fish on Photons, now this is, I could embarrass myself here, if I'm not mistaken, the Photons is actually a baddie out of Robotron. I didn't know what they were back then, I didn't even know what Robotron was back in 1983. Through Pastures Blue, Little Sheeps, as you know that Jeff is a fan of various furry beasts. He owns llamas, he owns sheep. I don't think he's ever owned a camel. But yeah, your energy, well, it's not an energy, it's called neutronium status. As that goes down, once it gets to the bottom, you die. But like I said, I've got this on infinite energy because it is just such a difficult game. Zap Stars. But this game just reeks the 80s to me, it really does. I'm sure people 20 years from now, if they're watching this video, they'll be wondering what the hell is this all about. Battlestar Galactica, is that the Battlestar Galactica ships? I'm guessing it is. I'm not a sci-fi nerd, so I'm kinda guessing a wee bit. But yeah, this was one of the very early games that I bought. And back in, 1983, every subsequent game that you bought, it always seemed to improve on the last game that you got. And it just, it just made you realise, wow, what an amazing thing this computer that I've got is. Especially once they got to grips with sound. You had your Rob Hubbard and all these guys making the Commodore sing, But this game even with a little title track, which was a title track done by Jeff Minter's friend James Lisney, who is a classical pianist. Now that little helicopter, I believe, is from Fort Apocalypse. I know a lot of people watching this video have probably got no idea what I'm actually talking about, but yeah, these were very early games. Fort Apocalypse being a particularly wonderful game, one of my favourite Commodore 64 games. You control a helicopter and you basically got to explore the caverns and rescue hostages and whatnot. Radioactive Remains. Yeah, Jeff was a bit of I wouldn't say he's a political activist, but yeah, he was quite outspoken about his beliefs. Funny thing is, for a hippie, I don't believe he is vegetarian. It's me and you, babe. And when I started making this video, I somehow had it in my head there was 20 levels, and then it just kept going on and on and on and on, and then I did a Google, it said there's 42 levels. But like I said, a lot of the levels, I think some of the levels are quite samey. They sort of reuse some of the sprites. Now Eugene, you've probably got no idea who this little guy is with the glasses. Eugene is basically, he was one of the sprites that was in Eugene's lair, which was about the 6th level, I think, in Manic Miner. Now Eugene, to the uninitiated, was a programmer for Imagine Software, goes by the name of Eugene Evans. He was one of these little 16-year-old computer programmers who was making megabucks. Apparently he owned like a Ferrari and he couldn't even drive. But then we know what happened to Imagine. Yeah, this one here, this is a little nod to Space Invaders. Little missile bases at the bottom. No cruises, good news. Yeah, cruise missiles, that was, as I say, the old CND I should say, Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament. It was very much in the news back in the 80s. Little American cruise missiles. Don't call us, we'll call you. Yeah, again he's reusing some of the sprites here. You've got the little phone boxes, the telephones and the sheep. It's a Jeff Winter game and it wouldn't be a Jeff Winter game without sheep. But yeah, it's probably one of the most difficult games. I actually need to ask Jeff how far he can get in without cheating. What is a Bram anyway? Right, obviously a nod to the famous composer. But yeah, I think the animation for the little camel is actually really good. It's like a wee incy-bincy baby camel even. I'm breaking these false teeth in for somebody. Zap Stars 2, totally weird. It looks like a flying hamburger. I'm sure if this game had come out after like Zap 64 magazine was a thing, it would probably contain the programmers' heads. But I says this was before Zap, this game. More tea vicar, yep, again a very British institution, a cup of tea when the vicar came round. I know Jeff likes a good cup of tea. Don't we all? Used to drink a lot more coffee, but now it's primarily tea. Egbert and the bouncing, didn't catch that. Egbert, I'm not quite sure, I'm guessing that he's probably... Is he some sprite or character out of another game? Can't say I'm familiar with him. He's dropping little A-bombs anyway, which are little neutron bombs. Beware of the kitchen devils. Right, I'm old enough to know what this means. In the 80s, 70s and 80s, the best kitchen knife you could get was called a kitchen devil. And that's what this is. As you can see, the action is just relentless. There's no let up at all. Fast food is bad for camels. So what have we got here? We've got hamburgers, we've got eggs, we've got... Is that beetroot or something? I'm not sure what it is. Onions possibly. There's eggs. Oh, there's a sandwich as well. Blocky graphics, but really, really nicely drawn. Several sinister spaceships. Right, I'm guessing the little thing that's kind of hovering down the screen is in the arcade game Sinister. I'm not quite sure. Sinister was... No, I was going to say it was a sequel to Defender. I'm talking utter nonsense. It wasn't. Sinister was the little game. You've got the little guy that talks to you. It's actually quite an evil little thing. Sydney and the Portaloos. And that looks like... You know, it looks like a guy with an American helmet sitting in a toilet. I'm wondering if that's a nod to Sidney Poitier, who was a famous American actor. I didn't catch the name of that one. Eccentricity or something, I think it was called. Shoot the ducks. They'll drop eggs in you, and you've also got some sheep to contend with as well. I don't think this game was ever converted to anything. I know there was a sequel of sorts, but I don't know if it was actually programmed by Jeff himself. But this is the one I'll always fondly remember. I say, looking at it now, it's absolutely batshit mental. It was batshit mental back in '83, but looking at it, you know, some 30 years on, I don't know what Jeff was on when he came up with some of these levels. But you know what, it's fantastic stuff. It's party history. This game could only be released in the UK. Beware the rubber keys of doom. Ah, there we go, there's a Spectrum. The L for let button as well. Like I says, this game could actually be like a... It's like a recount of history in the 80s. They should show this to kids nowadays and say this is what the 80s was like. Tratton. There you go. You've got the Atari logo upside down, and you've also got the iconic Atari joystick coming towards you. Yeah, like I says, looking at it now, it's a very simplistic game. It's just virtually random sprites jumping all over the place. Pack it in. Right, wait a minute, I think are these ships going along the bottom and coming down? I think they're in Grid Runner. And you've also got some Pac-Man ghosts for good effect. Attack of the Awful Software. 3.5. Nah, that'd probably be, is it 5.25 inch floppies? It was kinda before 3.5 inch discs were a thing, I think. Right, now at this point I had to leave the house, but because it was on infinite energy, I just let it record. So that's why I'm not moving, because I wasn't actually playing it at this point. Hit F1 hassles. Ah, these little headphones, I think they are. They certainly are, and you've got some little hi-fis along the bottom. Yeah, it was a fun game back then. It's got a lot of fond memories for myself. Would I want to play it much now? Probably not, because it's not, looking at it now, it's not much of a game, but it was incredibly good fun back then. Like I says, it's very much a thing of the 80s. It's an interesting game to look at now with all this sort of the various iconic sprites that Jeff used. Yeah, when you hit the edge of the screen, then you would automatically just move. And now we've got these little jumping deer with sheep as well, and some goats as well for good effect. Now if looking at the bottom of my screen is anything to go by, that should be level 40, so I think we've got 2 levels to go. Revenge of the Mutant Camels. There's a little llama at the top. Yeah, it's definitely worth playing even just once. Right, now this is actually the end of the game. Prepare yourself for the closing sequence. There we go. Well done, you have saved Camelkind. Anyway guys, that is it. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and as usual, thank you very much for watching.